Yo, what's up? Hey, I'm here with this cool guy I just met. What's up? What's your name, if you want to say?
Zivi Ritchie.
Ritchie.
Shalayim.
Nice. And what's this thing you have here? Scientific proof of G-D.
That's God, the way we say it when the way you write it. So you don't spell out God's name completely because you don't want it to be, thrown out. So it's G-D. And anyways, so what this is proof of God in this book. It's the first time there's this type of proof, and it's irrefutable. I mean, there's no way to disprove this. This is math, this is numbers. You can download it for yourself if you want. It's from 263672.com. You can see over here, 263672.com. You get it. Download of this book for free, and there's also some long 1-hour videos explaining. But I can tell you in a minute.
Sure.
What it is. So basically, if you look at the eclipse, you see that the moon covers the sun perfectly, which, why would that be by chance, right? But not only that, you look deeper and you see the ratio, the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and 400 times more distant, and therefore you see a total eclipse where it covers it perfectly, not too big, not too small. But it's also a round number, 400. So I want to prove that, that this is not random. Now, in order to do probability, to prove it's not random, you have to do it properly according to math. So what I did is I said, look, I'm going to take all of the dimensions of the sun, moon, and earth, make a set, mathematical set. It's the sizes, the distance, and also the time of the rotation, the speeds, also divided by the speed of light. I got 26 different ratios. Now, that should be random, right? Totally random. They should not all be close to round numbers or anything interesting, because the way things are, one is close, one is further away. That's the way the world works, right? Not here. Here you have something that's actually quite a miracle, because I proved that it's mathematically. I'll show you a picture so you'll understand on your own. These are the points that I said, the 26 different points. And if it was random, it was spread out on this graph from 1 to 10 evenly. Instead, they're clumped around numbers 1, 3, and 4, which is not random at all. Now, mathematically, since it's numbers, I can prove it. And in the book, I prove with probability that the exact probability of this happening by accident is 1 in 1,000 billion billion. Okay? This is the first time in the history of the world that anybody has seen anything like this. Everything else that you look at looks completely random. And this is so not random. You can see it again. You can see it for yourself. You can see this does not look like it's random. If these were arrows in a fence with 10 slats, you wouldn't say that there's just randomly arrows hitting the fence. You'd say someone is aiming for number 1, number 3, and number 4. That means the world was created on purpose this way. Okay? Now, people might ask, okay, I understand the world was created, God made this on purpose, but what is he telling us? What is the 1, 3, and 4? Well, this happens to be God's name. Shin Daled Yud is the gematria of 314, both in gematria katan and also in the regular gematria 314 or 314, depending on how you look at it. Okay? And there's other gematrias also, and there's other proofs in this book also. But that's basically it. This is something that has never been seen before, and this cannot be disproven. And it's unlike any other proofs. There's no way you can just say it's by chance, or there's no explanation for this. The first time ever, this is a real explanation. This is really God revealing himself in the world in a new way that has never happened before. This is a super big deal. So check it out. Again, I told you, go to my website. You can download it for free in 3 languages. So far, I'm going to get all the languages of the world and get it to the entire world. And nobody who reads this and understands it will be able to deny God's existence anymore.
Interesting. So did you think of this all on your own?
Yeah, this is all. There's not one thing that I copied here from even the idea of looking in this direction, nobody has done before.
Interesting. Regarding the eclipse, I also had a similar question. I asked some atheists about it, and they claimed, oh, well, the eclipse is not perfect everywhere in the world. Some places in the world have the moon is smaller than the sun, and they also claim, I mean, we don't believe it, but they claim the world's really old, and that the moon is moving away from the Earth slowly. So we just happen to be in a time where it sometimes lines up. What do you say about that?
So the thing is, if you do it just with the sun and the moon, it's hard to prove it conclusively to an atheist that this is from God. Obviously, it's very suspicious. It looks like it's from God. But if you want to prove it conclusively, you got to do the math right. And that's what I did over here. You have to do a full set. You don't take just the things that you do like. You take also the measurements that don't match up exactly the way you want it. And then you put them all into one equation. And when you do that, then this is an actual real mathematical proof. And any scientist, any mathematician that sees this will see this is legitimate math. This is an actual proof.
Have you had this peer reviewed yet, or not yet?
I've given out a few thousand of these books so far. I've had downloads. I've had several mathematicians or scientists, not any one of them was able to disprove this or say there was a mistake in it. And some of them got very excited. Others are just like, this is just too much for them to handle. But there was not a single one out of whoever has seen it until now, including some mathematicians and some scientists, not a single one was able to find one mistake or able to disprove it in any way.
Interesting. I noticed, I read through it, it seems like the conclusion, like you said, there through all the different calculations, 26 calculations happen to come out to numbers that are close to 314. Did you know that it was going to be 314 when you were starting it, or did that just happen?
No, I did not know. I was trying to get round numbers, and that's what I did. That's what I was looking for round numbers, and I proved that. The chances of it being this round numbers is 1 in 10 billion. But after that, I plotted it on a graph, and I saw they're all around numbers 1, 3, and 4, and none of them are in the area of 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not. None of them are. So then I'm like, wow. So I have to do another calculation, which would be like this box, and that's very simple probability. What are the probability that you throw 26 balls into a box with 10 boxes, and all of them fall into 3 specific boxes, none of them fall into any of the other boxes? That's 1 in 100 billion. Okay, so it's very simple probability. Anybody can check this. Anybody can validate this. Anybody can check to see if there's any mathematical errors. All the information is there. You go to Wikipedia, you'll see the size of the sun, the speed, everything. All the measurements are there. They're very accurate. Everyone knows them. The ratios you can check. And then you can follow the logic of my probability to check that also. If there are any mistakes in the logic of my probability equation, you can check that too. It can be done by any high school teacher, any college professor can check this. You don't have to be a PhD in astrophysics or anything or anything to check this. This can be checked. I've had 7-year-olds reading this and enjoying it and explaining it. Okay, so this is for the whole world. This is for us, and it's for us to give to the entire world. We get this to the whole world. The whole world will know as a fact, as a scientific fact, that the world was created by God.
Interesting. I mean, I'm just trying to think what other atheists might say. Usually, when it comes to things like this, the atheists say, like, even though things that seem so unlikely, they say, oh well, the human brain just tries to like look for patterns and things. Like, do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, of course. That is a nice thing to say. You can tell anybody that they're crazy until they prove it with math, and then they're not crazy anymore. This is you just disprove my math, and you'll say I'm crazy. That's fine, but that's only if you find a mistake here. If you do not find a mistake in my math, there's nothing you can say. I proved it. It's not that I found this in my mind, but I proved it with math, and your mind is also going to see it also because you followed the rules of math.
Interesting. I noticed one interesting thing, how you said the speed of light was like, if you use the Jewish measurements, it's like a very round number. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so that's another interesting proof. The speed of light is 2.99, right? So million meters per second, 299 meters per second. Okay, so that's the speed of light. It's close to 300 million meters per second. That's the speed of light. Now, if you use the Jewish time instead of seconds, you use chelek, which when we say the new month will be at this time, and then this certain amount of chelakim. It's 3.333 seconds. It's 1/18 of a minute. Now, if you do the speed of light, instead of saying meters per second, you say meters per chelek. So it comes out to exactly 1 billion meters per chelek with an accuracy of 99.3%. Okay, so this is very interesting. By the way, people will argue, well, a meter is just a arbitrary measurement. It's not. By definition, the meter is 1/10,000th of the distance from the Earth's equator to the Earth's pole. Okay, so by definition, that's how they define the meter. So this is actually a measurement of the distance around the Earth, and it's also the time is a measurement of the time of rotation. It's 1/18 of 1/60th of 1/24th of the time that the world rotates around itself. So it's not just arbitrary numbers that some people would try to say. It's actually fractions of the Earth's rotation and the Earth's size, and it comes out to a nice round number of 1 billion.
Exactly. Wow, that's pretty interesting. And I think another question people might ask about the other that you said like there was 26 calculations that all got in the general ballpark of 314, but people might ask, oh, maybe if you had other calculations, they would find other numbers. So maybe they might question. They say, oh, maybe you only found those calculations so that they would intentionally get to 314. Do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah. So, if you want to look for other things, you can be my guest. Go ahead and look for other ratios and try to look for numbers. I might have started a new thing, a new way of looking for God in the world. But if you want to know how this started with the hint that God gave us. Okay, God gave us the eclipse. He made it the same size. Maybe that's not enough to prove it on its own, but it's definitely a strong hint. So what do? You look at what was given to you. What makes the eclipse perfect? The distance and the size, the ratio between the size of the moon and the size of the sun. So I just continue that. It's not like I chose out of nowhere. I was led here by this very strong hint. And the hint proved out to be true, not just in this case, but in the entire set of the most logical thing you do is take the sun, moon, and earth, right? That's what you got here. You got the ratio between the distance from the sun and the earth and the moon and the earth is close to 400. The ratio of the size between the moon and the sun is close to 400. And that's what makes this perfect eclipse, which, by the way, I checked. There's 300 moons in the solar system. None of them make perfect eclipses on any planets. They don't even come close, okay? So I'm not just coming out of nowhere and deciding I'm going to start making ratios, because I've been given the first ratio by the way we see it now, the way God made it, the way we see it, the way science sees it. I've been given this ratio between the sun and the moon, both in size and in diameter. And in order to test this, to see if it works, you do a complete set. A complete set is every single ratio that you can do between the sun, moon, and earth in both distance and size. And then I have 8 ratios, okay? I did every single one of them. And when I do the math just on those 8, okay, I come to a conclusion of mathematical probability of happening random, that it also comes out to be close to numbers 1, 3, and 4, and close to the round numbers. Okay, it's 1 in 10 million. Okay, 1 in 10 million is better than any other theory that has been accepted. That when you can say that it's 1 in 10 million chance that this is random. There's nothing that has come along that had a chance of 1 in 10 million that it's just random, and then on basis of that they say we don't accept this theory. It's never happened before. It shouldn't happen here. Okay? Now that's 1 in 10 million. So I already proved it here just with distance. Size and distance, that's all. The ratios between them. So what am I making up? I was given this question and I solved it. I didn't decide to do distance, okay? Now, after I did that, since it worked, I said, let's do time period of rotation, average rotational velocity, speed of orbital velocity, again, for all these three things. It should be random. It should cancel each other out. Some should be close to round numbers. Some should be far away from round numbers. When I put it into the equation, they can cancel out. And it should bring it down to like 1/1 instead of 1/10 billion, right? But it doesn't. It gets even more than 10 million. It goes to 10 billion, and then it goes even higher. And then after I did all those times, I said, let's divide this by I'm on a roll. Let's divide it by the speed of light. It's like the most Einsteinian thing you can do. Okay, and I divide it by the speed of light, and it just adds, to this it's even more improbable. So I ended up getting 26 different things. There's no way you can say I picked and choose, because there's a lot of these things where it's not really close to round numbers. I put them into the equation also. The ones which are less than 1 are pulling in the other direction, right? But they're way outweighed by the ones which are close to round numbers. But what's even more surprising, of all the 26, not a single one of them goes outside of the box of between 0.1 to 1.5, in the box of number 1, the area of number 1, or 2.5 to 3.5, or 3.5 to 4.5. Those are these three boxes.
What's that one right there? Is that inside or outside?
No, that's a drop of water.
Oh, that's a drop of water.
No, it's not a drop of water. That's 26. That's a number 26.
Okay.
That's a 26 one. The dot is next to it. The dot is inside. It's just the number 26 of that one.
Oh, it didn't fit inside.
Is
okay,
outside.
So you have to write it, but the actual number is inside.
The actual number,
okay,
the actual dot is inside.
Okay.
So, so all of them are inside these three boxes. Not one of them. Now, the chances of them all, 26, being in three boxes and not outside in any of the 7 other boxes, is 1 in 94 billion. Okay, it's about 1 in 100 billion. It's just math. You do it, you do it like 3/10 times 3/10 times 3/10. You do it. That's just very simple math. It's not even hard probability. This is basic. This is maybe more advanced probability with being close to round numbers, but this is basic probability. Very simple mathematical question.
All right, very nice. So I'll upload this, and hopefully we'll see if anyone has any critiques or questions, and we'll let you know. Thank you.
Totally open to peer review or anybody. If one person can find one mistake here, right, disprove it in any way, please speak forward. There's nobody will ever be able to disprove this. This is a completely irrefutable evidence because of the nature of this. This is just completely mathematical. There's no way to disprove this.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll change the world. Yes.